All right, let's start this off, y'all.
Hey, man.
Shit, man. Outside used to be dope. Now outside's all crazy. Anyways, y'all want to get on with this?
Yeah, let's do this. This is the...
All right, all night, man. I blocked out 3 hours for this shit. I scheduled a poop break and a snack delivery.
This is the second annual and the first and only 2020 Retrospecticus. So, if that made sense. Retrospecticus is when we look at the year that has passed and what we liked in the form of media. Mostly anime, but actually I would probably mostly not anime. Give our thoughts on it again in a more brief way.
You sound like you worked all day yesterday and had a headache today.
That is both accurate and more accurate.
Yeah, man, let's liven this up because this is the first calendar year that we've done the podcast.
24 episodes?
Yeah. This is episode 25, motherfucker.
Ooh.
Christmas.
It's 25, technically 27, because y'all don't know about episodes -1 and 0, but that's all right.
Yeah, we don't talk about
I think this is a big step for us because this is the first time I've consistently done anything for like a year that involved more than just me doing something.
Other than masturbating.
Well,
group masturbation.
I should say something productive that I've done more than...
I produce, okay?
So we're not going to include being a parent in that, or a husband.
Well, it's different because those things
you can
have been
do
forced
those
upon me.
unproductively. You can do those very poorly.
That's not by choice necessarily. I mean, you know, it's
the
different.
point is that we have ascended. You know, you think of the greats. You got like Rogan. You got those true crime, making a murderer or whatever. That was a big deal, I guess.
Radio Lab.
Podcast.
Serial. I think we're up there with Serial.
Serial, yeah, and like the McElroy, the McElroy family of podcast products.
Yep.
We're up there, man. We're right next to them. Those are our.
That's right.
They're like top 4.
Friends.
We're easily top 5.
Yeah, we're like. Yeah, we're on their tails, man. They see us in their rearview mirrors.
They're saying, they're catching up with us. Gotta hit the gas.
They're like, look out for those guys. Here they come.
I mean, it's basically the same thing. They be talking, we be talking. You know,
they make jokes sometimes. There's laughter. We laugh a lot.
If anything, we make them better because they see us in their rearview mirror and they say, I gotta step it up because these guys are gonna overtake my fandom.
You're welcome.
That's right.
So
in celebration to this, the game has been appropriately themed for the 2020 Retrospecticus, and the title of the game is called Know Thy Brother.
Oh, no.
And this is a trivia game. And all of the questions will be taken from the annals of the Broke Otaku podcast, where I will ask
from the annals
each of these fine gentlemen before me, digitally before me, virtually before me, questions about what their brother thinks or have said this past year over the podcast.
AJ and I are brothers, by the way.
I mean, we've said that before. If you're a listener,
in case you don't know,
you probably know. In case you don't know, you know, Stanley used to say, every comic book you write is somebody's first comic book. So, yeah, let's think about podcast episodes that way.
I mean,
if you are new to the podcast, it is 2 brothers by the names of Alan and AJ, and then 1 brother, black guy, by the name of Marcus.
The brother
podcast. An alternate name that I suggested was 2 brothers and a brother, but they didn't want it. So
I don't recall that, but I
deny
stand by what I
any
said.
knowledge of that. I have no idea what you're talking about.
See, these motherfuckers want to hate. Anyways, y'all understand the game? Let's get this going.
No, but go ahead.
Yeah, so just to make it clear, we're not one person. We are actually 2 different voices. So
nobody thinks you're the same person. The only people that think that y'all are the same person are y'all.
Well,
and AJ's wife, she cannot tell our voices apart.
That is true.
Well,
it has been demonstrated.
That's silly.
To the untrained ear, we do sound similar. but after a couple lines, you kind of get it. All right, start the damn game.
All right. This first question is actually for the both of you, so you will answer in turn. In the very first episode of the Broke Otaku podcast, we all shared the stories of how we got into anime. What did your brother cite as his favorite anime from back in the day?
If I get every single one of these wrong, does that make me a horrible brother?
Yeah, y'all are vying to see who's a piece of shit and who is a saint.
I think we already know.
Yeah, we're both pieces of shit. So.
It'll be fun to find out.
The audience doesn't know.
What
you
did
guys
you cite?
know? I know. Yeah, what did your brother, to both of you, say was their favorite anime from back in the day?
To be fair, I don't know that I remember what I said was my favorite anime from back in the day. So
it doesn't matter.
You
don't have to remember what you said. You gotta remember what I said.
You don't have to disclose that information. What did Joe brother say was his favorite anime from back in the day? Or do you know, or are you a piece of shit?
I think I'm a piece of shit because anything I pretend to know is just me guessing.
See, you guys are showing too much of your hand. You should just guess and then wait for the chips.
No, I'm gonna say. I'm just saying, like, everything I think of, I'm like, no, that's me. No, that's me. No, that was me.
Well, just say what's you, because it's probably me, too, is the thing.
Let's go with... What's that other movie that we watched? I'm going to say, for you, Cowboy Bebop. But that's not early enough.
AJ.
Ninja Scroll?
I changed my answer to Ghost in the Shell. Let's go with that.
Okay, yeah. Actually, I'm going to go with Ghost in the Shell for Alan, because I think that's what he said.
Okay. Final answers?
Yes.
All right. AJ said that his favorite anime from back in the day was Akira.
That is my favorite. Of course. That is the shit.
Alan said his favorite from back in the day is Ghost in the Shell.
Booyah.
Did I say that was my favorite?
You are. AJ asked us specifically at some point in the episode if we had to pick one favorite from back in the day, like during our burgeoning years of being anime fans, what would we pick? And that's what y'all picked. AJ picked Akira, and you picked Ghost in the Shell.
I do like Akira.
I should have said Ninja Scroll because that shit was hotter.
I would have said Ninja Scroll, but since you said Akira, I agree with myself. Akira is one of my favorite movies. I agree with
what he said about what you think you said.
Myself. I agree. All right, next question. This one is for Alan. In the 8th episode of the podcast, we talked about the latest Ghost in the Shell series, Standalone Complex 2045.
Excuse me while I vomit.
What adjective did AJ use to describe the visual style of the show?
I don't get multiple choice or anything. Damn it. I was going to listen to old episodes this week.
Should have.
Yeah, but I didn't. What adjective did he use? I don't know. There's so many adjectives to choose from.
All right, I'll give you a hint. You might use it to describe dessert.
Oh, sugary?
No.
Syrupy?
No,
runny. He called it runny. I'm gonna go with runny.
No. AJ, do you remember what you said?
Was it creamy?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It does look creamy. It looks like
I remember. I didn't even have to go back to remember. I only had to go back to see what episode it was in, but I will always remember that you called it creamy. That made me laugh so hard.
It looks like you could creamy. Just take a spoon to the model and just eat it.
Yeah,
and it would just like fall off the model.
Yeah,
it'd be delicious.
Yeah, that made me laugh. I love that.
Ghost in the Shell.
Episode 8.
Yogurt. Frozen yogurt.
Episode 8. Ghosts Rate to Hell Standalone Complex, I think is the title.
Go straight to
It's a good episode. Go listen to it. We just trashed Ghost in the Shell 2045.
It's a good time.
Yeah. All right, AJ, this one's for you. In episode 20, during the last round of the game Super Roll that Alan ran, the characters he chose for you and me to play were Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop and Vash the Stampede from Trigun. What anime did Alan mistakenly attribute the character of Vash to at the conclusion of the game?
Ooh. Outlaw Star.
You are correct. Did you know that, Alan? I saw you.
And the reason is because I would totally make that same mistake. Because the characters look very... There's a lot around their particular weapons, and
I'm not just a moron here. Like, there's a lot of room to.
It's an honest mistake if you haven't seen.
I'm sure it's not the first time those two have been conflated.
Yeah.
Well, so far you're the piece of shit, but here you have a chance to redeem yourself.
You were dumb enough to record yourself saying it.
And this next one, I'm being nice to you. It's multiple choice.
Yes.
All right.
That's what I need.
During last year's Retrospecticus 2019.
Man, you got me going way back. You're like, oh, episode 20, AJ, it was like 3 weeks ago. Hey, Alan, let's think back to last May. Fuck you and your fucking stupid game, you biased host. I'm sorry, please continue.
During last year's Retrospecticus 2019, we all agreed that the second season of One Punch Man was a low point.
Mm-hmm.
During our discussion, which of the following did AJ not mention as a contributing factor? A. Saitama's character development. B. Not enough King. C. The martial arts tournament. Or D. The animation quality.
Which one did he not mention?
Did he not? So you have Saitama's character development, Not Enough King, martial arts tournament, animation quality.
Is there some kind of trick to this question? Because I feel like we talked about all those things, but maybe not. Maybe AJ specifically didn't comment on them. I'm going to say... I feel like I can hear his voice talking about the martial arts tournament, even though that's what I'm going to say it is. Because I know somebody said Not Enough King. That was probably me. You know what? Let's go with Not Enough King, because I'm the one who said that, not him.
Good job.
Yeah!
You redeemed yourself. Myself. I was gonna feel bad about myself and mad at you if you would have got that wrong. I'm like, God damn it, you need to get one of them right.
I also didn't know what I actually didn't say, so it's it's fair that he would not know as well. But okay.
Yeah, I guess
give him one from 1998 now. Remember in middle school?
I guess since I'm quality control of this podcast, I listen to it way more than you guys do. But
I don't listen to this trash.
I have to because I edit it. But
I don't listen to this shit that I endorse with the site that I came up with.
Y'all need to listen to it, not me.
AJ's I lived it. Too much to do without having to listen to the shit that we all said. He was there for it.
All right. That was last year's Retrospecticus. That was in 2 parts, episodes 2 and 3. Go listen to them if you haven't already. All right. Episode... Oh, I'm not supposed to say that part yet because that might give something away if you're cheating online. This one, AJ's for you. This is a quote from Alan about one of the anime we watched.
Fucking softball, man. You make him guess what I'm talking about? Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I feel bad about these
play
questions.
Play your fucked up, unbalanced game the way you want to.
I was honestly intrigued. I was like, okay. But then everybody started talking. And I was just like, fuck. And they don't stop talking. They don't stop saying dumb shit. And they don't stop, like, they're not likable at all. What anime was he referring to?
I know exactly which one.
You know it. I'll give you a point if he doesn't get it.
Yeah, now it's fair. Now it's fair and balanced.
I'm trying to remember the list. It's either Promare or Dorohedoro, I think. I'm gonna go with Promare. No, Dorohedoro.
Final answer.
Yeah. Alan's making a face.
Don't matter.
Though.
Both of those are wrong.
Okay.
Both of those are wrong. Alan, what anime was that about?
It was Blame, right?
Yes.
Blame. Blame the forgotten movie.
I still feel that way when I think back to watching Blame.
It's funny because the manga is interesting. They don't say hardly anything in the manga, but in the movie, for some reason, they just keep talking.
I would have loved that if they had said next to nothing and just.
I don't think that's true. I think there's a lot of talking in the. There's a lot of talking in the manga, but the difference is the manga when they say something, it's kind of to the point.
Yeah.
Of what's happening in that movie, they just say a bunch of shit and get nowhere, just explaining nothing to nobody.
Just keep saying it, and eventually they'll understand what it means.
Right. All right. Here is the final question. So, I had each of you rank from this year of the things that we've watched specifically for the podcast, what your top 3 were and what your bottom 3 were. Let's start off with the top. And we'll start with Alan.
I have to guess his list.
You have to guess his list of what AJ said were his top 3 anime or things we talked about from the past year.
You should have warned me because I need the items in front of me if I have to choose.
It's fine.
Which ones he liked.
We're both going to get this wrong, by the way.
We are.
So there's multiple opportunities for points because you get ultimate points if you get the list right, but you also get some points if you get generally titles in the top 3. Like you say one of them thinks that such and such is the top. Well, maybe it's not the top, but if it's like the third and it's still a part of the list, you get some points. Because at least you knew that your brother liked this thing enough that it was in the top 3, even if you didn't get the placement correct. Make sense?
Sure. All right. I'm going to go with AJ's top 3 were Redline, which it should be. I know he really liked. I think he liked. Damn it! This is boring listening.
What else did he like?
He liked. No, he didn't like that.
Oh, Jesus!
I don't like anything.
Yeah, I didn't like anything. How am I supposed to pick?
Why don't you start with the bottom 3 and then
That's
go
not
from there.
true. AJ likes a bunch of shit. We're going to talk about one thing he likes so much he made me watch it.
That's right.
Even I didn't want to.
I'm hyped about that.
Wait, what did he make you watch?
I can't wait for that conversation.
Oh, Dorohedoro? I'm going to say Dorohedoro.
So you're going to say Doro?
Let's go with Dorohedoro.
So you said Redline. Are you keeping Redline?
Yes.
Okay, Redline,
Because
Doro, and
that's
what else?
a gimme. Or it ought to be. And I think... I'm trying to remember how you felt about these things. I think you probably liked Castlevania a lot.
Castlevania.
Actually, let's go with Altered Carbon.
Altered Carbon finish.
Am I doing Alan's top
All right,
3?
in that
or
order?
is he doing the bottom?
Did you do it in that order?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so Redline 1, Doro 2, Altered Carbon 3 are your guesses. AJ, what say you about your brother? What was his top 3?
I'm going to go with Evangelion, number 3.
Is that number 1? Number 3?
Whoa.
Altered Carbon, number 2, and Parasite, number 1.
Natenshini yonori shonen yoshin wa ni nara.
This is a song that's sung by Frank Sinatra.
I wish people could see your dance
too.
right now. You look
Next
you kind
year.
of looked like
Next
you kind
year.
of looked like
Live
the hell's
streaming.
dude's name? Brett from Flight of the Conchords.
Oh, it felt very Gloria Stefan. Like, come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga.
Come on,
Yeah.
your body, baby, do that
Let's get back
conga.
into that conga. That was a jam. All right, so you say Evangelion is his third top, Altered Carbon is his second, and Parasite is his first.
I'm going to swap Altered Carbon for Blood of Zeus.
You done goof, boy.
Did I? I'm going to undo
I mean,
that
I didn't say
goof.
final answer yet. Okay, yeah, you can take it back.
I'm just going to
'cause I
go
didn't
with what
say
I just
final
said
answer
before.
yet.
You didn't include the gimme. You forgot the gimme. The
What's your
gimmel.
gimme?
All right, that's final answer
Okay.
since y'all doing table
I know a
talk
gimme
now.
for your bottom.
All right,
That
Alan,
sounded gross, by the way.
you said your brother was you said your brother liked Redline best, Dorohedoro second, and Altered Carbon third.
Yeah, sure.
In truth, he liked Dorohedoro the best.
What?
This one's gonna make you real mad. I can't wait to talk about this shit. Second is FF7 remake,
Okay.
and
All right,
third,
fine. We can be enemies.
third,
now.
this makes me want to fight. This one kind of makes me want to fight. Dragon Ball Super Broly.
I almost said that, but I was like, I don't remember him having strong feelings.
We're going to talk about
Either
that
way.
because that is
How
more
is
than
Redline
just...
not in your top three? I know it's a little
Yeah, I don't
ambiguous
understand that because
you've seen it before
I don't
and it wasn't new this year. And
I think that's part of the because it was something I'd seen before. I mostly base it on new 2020-ish things.
Okay, I mean, I guess that's fair reasoning. That makes your list seem less ridiculous. Because
No,
when
it's
I
still
saw it at
ridiculous,
first-
and I'm going to
it
explain
makes
why
me
I
hate
picked
you
Brawley.
a little less.
Okay. Because I mean, I like FF7 remake too, but like top three though.
Well,
Anyways, we'll get to that. I get to be judgy later. All right, Alan, you said, or AJ, you said Alan's top three. Evangelion was third. Altered Carbon was second. Parasite was first. In truth, Redline is first, which coincidentally is the right answer.
yeah, that is fair.
Second is Parasite.
Okay.
So you got a point for that. And third is Altered Carbon.
Okay.
So you got a point for
So
that.
if I put Redline at top, that would have been good.
None of you got the placements right, but AJ got 2 right in the top 3. Alan, you only got 1. And this is already going pretty long, so we'll just go ahead and skip the last question. Turns out, AJ, you're a better brother than your brother.
We already knew that.
Alan, I will be crafting you a piece of shit award. And it'll
Thank
be
you.
Arriving.
The piece of shit polished turd trophy will be in the mail, possibly stolen.
It'll be arriving at your place forthwith.
And then next year
Is that even the right
we'll do it
word? I don't
again,
know.
and then you can give me the trophy if I lose.
I'm gonna spend all year trying to win this award next
You're
year.
gonna be paying so much attention.
So what was
to everything
Alan's
that's said.
bottom 3?
Alan's bottom 3 were third place Boogie Pop, second Blame, first Ghost in the Shell, which surprised me because I legitimately thought you hated Blame more than anything. So the fact that you
No, because I was honest. Remember, I was intrigued, but then
You were
they started
intrigued.
talking. Ghost in the Shell, I was never intrigued.
I would have guessed
fair
Boogie
fair
Pop,
point.
or no, I would have guessed Blame, Heroes Rising, and Final Fantasy 7.
Heroes Rising was just
He didn't hate it. He just likes to talk shit about Deku, but he didn't hate the movie.
yeah.
That's fair. Okay.
I
but
do
Boogie
have
Pop
some
makes
beef
sense.
with Final Fantasy 7, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. And then AJ, he was 3 Blood of Zeus, which I'm not surprised that was on the list because you did not like that
Shit
show.
was trash.
2 Animal Crossing,
Damn.
That shit was trash too.
and 1 Promare, which is surprising, but I respect it.
Promare was a big disappointment. That's why it's in my list.
I respect it. I don't think it's the worst, but I respect it being on your list. Like, it's worthy to be first.
We've watched worse things, but nothing was a bigger disappointment than Promare.
I'll give you that.
Wow, really? I don't. Promare didn't disappoint me. Promare was just like, what the fuck?
It was just too much. It was just too extra.
It was hyped so much as the greatest anime movie ever, basically, if you looked on the internet, and it was not even close.
Did you? Oh, I forgot. You saw it for the first time. You didn't see it with us in Columbus.
Us.
Right.
Yeah, he didn't come up here to watch it with us. We watched it together virtually.
Yep. That was like one of the first movies we watched virtually.
AJ, guess my bottom 3. Alan, guess my top 3.
Ooh, your bottom 3.
Mine should be easy because I'm the most opinionated fuck out of the 3 of us.
Boogie Pop.
I don't pay that much attention.
I don't be listening to you.
Boogie Pop, Ghost in the Shell, and Akudama Drive.
Man.
Say that again.
Bottom's easier than the top.
Ghost in the Shell and Akudama Drive.
In that order?
Make Boogie Pop the worst, Akudama second, and then Ghost in the Shell third.
Damn, dude.
Did I get it right?
Perfect.
You nail it?
Perfect.
You are very vocal about your opinions and clear on what you do not like. So
yes.
I'm about to nail it too. Watch this shit. Number 1, Jujutsu Kaisen. I was gonna say baller, and then I was like, don't say baller, and then I was like, bomb, don't say that either. So I said bah. Anyway, Jujutsu Kaisen, and then you liked, what else did you like? I'm gonna say Altered Carbon is third. You had you already seen Parasite? Oh no, Redline. Redline's number 1. Number 2 is Jujutsu Kaisen. Number 3 is Dorohedoro.
Almost, but really, really close.
Okay, number 1's Redline.
Number 1, you got that. 2 is Parasite.
Okay.
3, Dorohedoro. But what did you say? Altered Carbon?
I said Jujutsu Kaisen. I was going to say Altered Carbon.
Jujutsu Kaisen. Okay. Yeah, so honestly, I can't fault you for saying Jujutsu Kaisen because I love that show. But Parasite was, I had already seen it, and I watched the whole thing again, even though I'd already seen it. I don't do that often. Like, that's how much I like that show.
Yeah, it's really good.
So that's why that's number 2. But yeah, Redline is number 1, AJ.
Yeah,
like, let's
AJ.
go. Let's pile on this
I'm
dude.
sorry.
I was meaning you by giving you the hard questions, but here's your vindication. Like, we're gonna double team on AJ right now. Like, Redline's the GOAT. What are you talking about?
What are you talking
about?
Because
I've seen it like 100 times before this.
We're gonna
year.
go Sandlot on you right
now. You've seen it 100 times because it's the best.
I know. I love that movie. I don't know why I didn't put it on the top. I regret it now. I'm sorry. Jeez.
Okay, so
do your best Tom Brenneman right now.
Yeah, we need that apology. We need to talk about how
I would like to apologize to all the Redline fans and to my wife because I can't buy you that golden yacht because I lost my job.
As a baseball announcer.
Don't forget to include how much of a man of faith you are.
I'm a man of faith. Redline's great.
I have 3 kids. I have 3 children. They're all in school.
Everybody seems to like me sometimes.
I have 2 cats and 1 dog and chickens. How could I be a bad guy?
The dog's a pain in the ass. Fuck those chickens.
Yes, I killed one of them, but that was just a one time thing. I never did it since. Never again.
Doesn't count if it's once.
I didn't kill it, but I
slowly
didn't
turning into
let it
Richard
live.
Nixon here.
I didn't kill him, but I.
But yeah, anyways, Redline's number 1 because it is everything.
Okay, fine.
That is
Redline's
great
number
about
1. Everybody praise Redline because it is great. And seriously, go watch it if you haven't. What the hell are you doing with your life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it hits all of the areas that we talked about in the in our first episode why we like anime. Like why anime is great.
It's great.
That super ridiculous attention to detail in its animation, characters that are crazy, a plot that like doesn't really make sense, but it's still good enough and different and intriguing enough that it just keeps you locked in. And it's like a whole new world. Like you will not see anything made in America that's like Redline. Like Redline is pure Japan.
Pure red
anime
lines all over the whole movie.
Yeah. Lots of them.
I do want to defend my Dragon Ball Super.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
All right. So I don't remember who I told this before, but it doesn't really matter. So my wife loves these freaking Hallmark Christmas movies. And every story is the same, right? There's this girl from a big city comes to a small town, meets the old high school flame, finds out he's this rugged lumberjack, decides she hates big city, stays in the small town, and makes cookies for a living or something. Every movie's the same.
Opens a bakery.
Exactly. And she watches them over and over like they're different, but they're not. Dragon Ball is that to me. It's a comfort show.
I get it.
I know, I know what's gonna happen.
I know someone put it in the top 3.
Let them finish. We'll get into it.
I know what's gonna happen. I know there's gonna be super strong bad guy, new technique to beat him. Goku's gonna get beat, but then come back, and they're gonna go back and forth, and it's predictable. It's flashy, it's fun, and I love it. I don't have to learn new characters because I already know them. I already pretty much know what's going to happen. Eventually bad guy's going to get beat somehow. But, it's a good thing to have on in the background when you're, like, doing other stuff. You don't really have to pay a whole lot of attention to it. And it's just, like, my go-to show for, like, relaxing and, like, I'm just going to fart around and throw on some Dragon Ball and just let it be on.
Marcus's face right now is just
I know, it's hilarious. So
it's
the
like,
reason
I'm gonna rip you to pieces.
The reason Brawly is in my top is because I felt the same way about it. Like it's just fun to watch, and like I can just go back and watch the whole second half of the movie like over and over, just because it's fun and like you just don't have to think about it. You just watch this like fireworks show, and it just made me feel good this year to just not have to focus in or have to get concerned with what's going to happen to these characters, because in the end everything's going to be fine. So that's why
low investment for the payoff.
Yeah, I mean it's I don't have to. I know that no one's going to die suddenly and it's going to be this like heartbreaking thing. Everyone's going to get stronger. The fights are going to get flashier, and at the end everyone's going to just walk away smiling.
At the end, you're going to be a better person.
Exactly. That's why Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball Super Broly are in my top 3.
It does have the luxury.
You're putting Super in your top 3 too?
What?
Well, I put Dragon Ball Super Broly in with... I lumped them together.
Oh, did you watch Dragon Ball Super this year?
I've been watching Dragon Ball Super, yes.
Yeah, you know what? And here's part of the reason I'm going to rip him to pieces.
Okay.
I'm going to let you go first because you're not going to talk as long as I
Go
go.
ahead.
But part of the reason why I'm going to rip him to pieces is because on that podcast, he is the one who said, I think we can all agree, nobody wants to spend 100 and something episodes watching any more things Dragon Ball.
I did say that.
Nobody he was talking all this shit about how he wasn't going to do it.
I confess I did say that. And
Alan, the table is the table's yours or whatever the saying is. The floor.
I'll take the table. I'll take the floor. I'll just eat off the floor. Thank you. No, I Dragon Ball has the luxury of like its reputation, so you know what to expect. There's no high or low expectations. You know exactly what you're signing up for. It's like there's safety there, so I understand. Like you can put it in, you can rank it highly because it's a fun thing. You know what you're getting, and that's all you can ask for anymore. It's knowing what to expect and actually fucking getting it, and nobody dies. That's top 3 in 2020. That's all you need to do.
To be fair with Dragon Ball, it's like 120 something episodes, and I stand by what I said. I don't think most people want to watch 129 episodes, but when you kind of break it down, like,
and he's the only one of the 3 of us doing it.
if you skip the recap, skip the intro, skip the title screen, and skip the ending, it's literally like,
it's a lot of work.
Like,
that's a lot of work to watch something that's fucking great.
It's like 16 minutes an episode. Like, you can get through it very quickly.
Oh my God. All right, you're done talking. Here's why everything you're saying is wrong. Here's what's wrong with everything you're saying. You're basically saying the thing that's in the top 3, granted, you put it in a third, you gave it the bronze. You didn't give it the silver or gold. So that's something. That says something. But the fact that the thing that's in your top 3 is the thing that you don't have to think about that much, the thing that you can just have in the background that doesn't deserve all of your attention, that doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense to me.
I explained it
everything that
with the Hallmark movie analogy.
Yeah, that's not a good explanation. Sorry, sir. You're not going to win that argument.
In a year of
You're not going to win with that
distress,
argument.
In a year of now I work from home, so I don't want to just sit in silence all day. Let me throw on some Dragon Ball in the background.
That's not top 3. That's
it's my top 3 because
that's like a sweet tart. That's like a sweet tart because you feel bad, so you pop in a sweet tart. Or for women, when they eat a chocolate, they're like, "Oh, it's been such a hard day. I need Godiva." Like, that's what that is. It's not a filet mignon.
Shout out to Love Chocolates.
It's not filet mignon. It's not like a good fucking meal. It's not like an entree. It's a fun little snack.
It's coconut shrimp.
You eat when you just need to feel good real quick. It's not filling, though.
It's deep fried egg rolls.
In the
top 3 material.
In the year of a pandemic, if a woman said, "Man, you know what my favorite chocolates are right now? Dove or Love for Alan. Because I keep them with me, and anytime I'm feeling blue because of this pandemic, I pop in a Dove chocolate and everything feels better." Okay, that's your top chocolate then.
No.
It doesn't matter if you had a freaking fancy Cheesecake Factory Oreo Blitz pop in your mouth cheesecake in January.
It's better. I'm sorry. I don't care that it's a pandemic. It tastes better.
Yeah, it tastes better, but it doesn't do the same things that the Dove chocolate does for you.
It's closer to AJ's heart.
Exactly. I feel better having the show on in the background rather than having something else. The fact that I can have it on the background means that I'm not doing injustice to the other shows that I give my full attention to. So there you go. You can injustice.
What? No.
You can injustice.
You almost had me. Almost. And then you said that last shit, and that ruined it. That ruined all of it. You're like, okay, in the pandemic, all I want to do is have something that feels good because there's a lot of bullshit. This is a year where people didn't want to escape. They wanted to turn off because, like, everything was crazy. Look, so much crazy shit. This year was comically fucked up. It was like everything that happened on top of it being the craziest election ever. Yep. It was like a joke. The gods are like laughing on, like, in Valhalla or fucking Olympus or wherever they are, like, about how crazy this shit is, right? So I get that. But then you said having it on in the background does more justice to the other show, which means the other shows are better, which means they go in the top 3.
No, it doesnn't necessarily mean they're better.
Hey,
it means that
you did not give any criteria
it does.
For your top 3. I'm trying to defend you, AJ.
Look,
we're not specific.
Listen. Sorry. I don't have to give my full attention to Dragon Ball to talk about it. I know what happens in Dragon Ball. If you want me to talk logically about Boogie Pop, I have to give it my full attention so that I know what's going on. And when I talk about it in the podcast, I can say legitimately that I watched it and I know what's happening. I can watch 3 episodes of Dragon Ball and not pay a lick of attention to it and probably tell you 90% of what happened. Because it's a lot of shenanigans with Bulma and getting the time machine, and Trunks pops up and powers up and they throw a few fireballs and then they go back and forth in time. I don't know, something like that. Who cares? The fact is that if I want something on and I want to feel good and I want to enjoy myself without having to invest a lot of energy into it, I turn on Dragon Ball.
Top 3.
Okay.
Top 3.
Okay. You know what? I will concede this. Top 3 in your heart, definitely, because it makes you feel good. However, as a person who, like, I'm an asshole when it comes to media taste. We know this. We know this about me.
Yeah.
Like, to hear somebody say it's in the top 3 because I don't even have to watch it and I know what happens, that's a sign that something's not interesting to me. That's what that means. Like it doesn't mean that it's good. It means that, like, it's bullshit.
Different strokes.
There's a lot of things.
Different folks.
There are a lot of things that I like. I love Pacific Rim. That is one of my favorite movies. Like, me and the wife love to sit down and just geek out about big-ass gargantuan robots punching monster kaiju in the face. Love it. It makes me feel so good. Not in my top 3 movies. Because it's just not. I'm sorry. Saving Private Ryan is better. Don't make you feel good. But it's better.
This is 2020.
It's worth all of my attention.
If you're talking all time, Dragon Ball Super is not in my top 3. If you're talking 2020, Dragon Ball Super is in my top 3.
Okay,
he's not going to change his mind. Let's move on.
Yeah, that's fine.
There's better things out there. I will concede that. It's not in my top anything for my lifetime, but I just enjoy it. So, fuck up.
Okay. Is there anything that we want to lambast or defend before we move on to our next segment?
I need to lambast Final Fantasy VII Remake real quick.
Let's go.
I went over... Okay, let me just try to boil this down. Squaresoft, Square Enix, whatever the fuck you want to call them, does not have good writers. Their writers are bad, or their translators are bad. Maybe it's better in Japanese, but their storytelling is shit. Their timing, their pacing, their cinematography is shit. I shouldn't have to wait 3 seconds between every, like, distinct animation, because, like, I understand it's a video game, it's hard. Like, you need Red 13 to run over here and then, you know, get into a position from which he can start the next animation, but you don't need him to sit there for 3 seconds while like, here, let me run over here, and then I'm about to flip the switch, but I need to sit down first so then I can load the next animation that starts me from this sitting position. And it's just like, they didn't need to do any of that. They didn't need to make you wait so goddamn much. And aside from the fact that the game is a shameless cash-in, like, yes, people asked for it, but, like, don't tack on this stupid, like, you know, third grade, it's Destiny bullshit, like, fucking, like, ghost sperm flying around the whole goddamn Mako reactor, like, ooh, that's the planet crying out. Like, for why? Why did that happen then? Right as, you know, it's just bad. And then you get, like, this is in addition to everything I said on the episode. So, like, I'm not even gonna get into the combat system, which is fucking, like, chaos, and, like, sometimes it's fun. But how do you go from, like Aerith? First of all, Sephiroth. Like, everybody knows Sephiroth. And they told the story as if everyone knew who Sephiroth was. So we don't have to talk about Sephiroth. We don't have to develop Sephiroth. We don't have to, like, invest in Sephiroth at all. You already know about him. And then you get to the end, they're on the highway, and Sephiroth's standing there. And all of a sudden, Aerith goes, "You're bad. You're wrong. Everything about you is bad." And I was just like, you don't know this man. So that made me mad. And it just... It's like, why? But basically it comes down to, like, their writers are bad, and that makes the voice acting bad. Like, I think the voice actors in FF7 are really good, but it doesn't make up for the bad writing and the bad storytelling and the bad pacing. And they made it, like, the combat's fun, but it's not balanced. It's just chaos. It's just shit happening. Like, I got to wind up for 5 seconds just to have my limit break get interrupted while these damn like sewer turtles are, coming up off of nothing, jumping into me and killing me faster than anything. They don't have to wind up. They don't telegraph. And even if they do, if there's a little thing on the screen that says, ooh, ball bearings or whatever they're about to do, like, I can't see that. There's a million things happening. I don't like it. I'm upset.
AJ, would you like to defend yourself? This is the second.
Oh yeah, you put this on top 2. Why? Explain yourself.
That's why when he originally sent me his list, I kept having all these reactions because I'm like, did he not watch the other things that we watched?
I think you said something about it, and I was like, uh-oh, what did he put up there?
Uh-oh. I think it was. So yeah, it's campy, but like, we watch anime, like. Anime's campy. There's very few
compared to anime.
It's anime, dude. That's what it is.
It is anime. It is definitely like anime grunting and anime like style storytelling, but still.
Yeah, I mean, so I can look past that because we watch anime. Like,
it wasn't. It's not the thing that it's based on is not anime. The thing that they remade is not anime.
What about it made you put it as your number 2 for the year?
The reason I put it was because I enjoyed the time that I spent with it. Like, it's not a perfect game, but like the graphics were like super good. The characters were good. Like, really just because Tifa's hot. That's why I put it in my top 2. No, I'm kidding.
I don't believe you. I think you mean what you say.
That's a big part of it because the characters are honestly like easy to look at. Like even Cloud, even Barrett, like they're all like, yeah, these character models are super good, and like I just like
Cloud's
looking
hot.
at them.
I'm not gay, but Cloud is hot.
They're all beautiful. They're beautiful people.
They're all beautiful, yeah. So it's like, yeah, this is a good looking game. So. And I don't appreciate that they took, 5 hours of a PlayStation 1 game and stretched it out to 25 hours. And I don't really care for the bullcrap dream stuff they added to the end of the game that didn't make any sense. It was kind of out of place. But overall, I liked the game. I had fun with it. And I'm looking forward to the next one. So I think it's worth your time if you're a Final Fantasy fan and you can look past. There are a few things that I thought were kind of crap. Like, do you guys remember when you're like under the plate and you look down and like there's just this super low res skybox image of the town? And it's like,
yeah, the bit mapping on that was pretty
I'm like, you couldn't have done anything better here. Like, this is, and you're in that area for like an hour, so it's like super distracting.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I feel like they ran out of time.
Yeah, like you can tell they kind of cut corners here and there, but I mean overall, like it's a fun game, and it makes me appreciate Midgar a little more. So when you play the old one, you're like, oh yeah, Midgar is like a legit place. It's not just 5 people under the plate, like it felt like in the original.
Yeah, I agree.
I will never.
That was one thing I
forget or forgive the time that I think it was in the train graveyard. I'm up in the air. I'm hacking away. First of all, the fact that you got to float up into the air to attack something is pretty dumb. But I'm in the air, okay? I'm in the sky. I'm 20 feet off the ground. And this thing on the ground attacks the location where I supposedly am, which I guess is straight down from where I am in the air, and knocks me down. No, like you didn't make all the proper considerations when you designed this. You didn't do the work. You said, "Oh, this is fun sometimes," and it looks like Final Fantasy. Right. What?
You gotta play the game right. There's like combos and stuff you can do.
I know. I'm not the best like player. I probably don't know all the rules, but like, come on. If I'm in the air, you shouldn't be able to tackle me from the ground. Like, I'm sorry.
I imagine going on. I imagine going over to Alan's house and watching him play. He's just doing all this bullshit that doesn't make sense. He's just like activating a bunch of glitches that nobody else discovered. It's like, dude, why are you playing this way?
No, I honestly, like, after like winning like the hard fought boss battle, I was just like, man, that was satisfying. But you could have had that without all the bullshit. And they could have, with a little more refinement, it could have been like one of the greatest like action games of all time. But I'm sorry, they let me down, and also their writers are terrible.
I'll jump in AJ's camp because I was pretty hard on him about Super, which I don't really feel bad for, but I'll make it up for it with this a little bit. Joining Team AJ.
Tisk.
But so the fact that game came out, I played it first of all, and then I finished it, is a huge testament to me, at least, to why I like that game a lot. Because like I've tried to get into other games and play other games, and I just get to a point where I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore because I'm just not interested. I'm not invested like I used to be when I was younger. But this game held my attention the whole time. I did think the stuff with the whispers at the end was dumb. They could have got rid of that. Story, not going to argue with you. The story's dumb. Oh, but guess what? Final Fantasy VII original story is dumb. So I was walking into this game like ready to be like, if they don't explain what the hell happened in the original more clearly, then I don't care about the story that much. So
and they didn't, so you
I
don't.
think, yeah, they didn't, so I don't care about the story. I'm like, all right, well, let me just look at these characters that are beautifully rendered and beautifully redesigned. Look at all these, the vast majority of the settings and backgrounds and stuff like that were amazing. Like, I loved the interpretation of, the old shit that was from 20 years ago and updating it to what it became now. Like, I thought that opening scene where you see Midgar and they made it like look like an actual city that was huge and expansive was gorgeous. There was just so much stuff about the game that they did right that, I mean, quite honestly, a lot of the things that you encounter that you complain about didn't happen to me, which I'm surprised because I'm whack at video games. So I'm like, and I played it on normal. So I'm like, how did I not have a problem with that? I don't know. But yeah, just the way that they brought Final Fantasy to life to be contemporary for 2020, I thought was so well done overall that the whole experience was enjoyable. Like, the weapons looked great. The limit breaks looked awesome. Yeah. I liked the battle system. It's a little unwieldy because you do have to micromanage, but that didn't bother me. And maybe it's because I don't play games where you can automate different character behaviors. So that wasn't an expectation that I had. Like, I didn't mind that I had to go and control every character because I wanted to play with every character. So it was fine to me. And all of the boss fights before the fucking stupid stuff at the end where the world breaks were amazing. Like the last real boss fight in my mind, before Sephiroth at least, where you're on the highway on the motorcycle, the cinematography on that and the angles that they chose when you're like driving around, it looked like a fucking movie. It was gorgeous. It was so fun to play because it was challenging, and I was in the moment just going like, this looks so fucking good. The music is so fucking good. The Buster Sword is so fucking awesome. Materia, magic, technology, guns, highway, motorcycle, boner. I love it.
Yeah.
City.
I'm not going to say the game isn't beautiful because obviously it's like one of the most gorgeous games ever made. But I just think it just seems like there's some things, like they had their priorities. Like, let's just make this as pretty as possible, and let's take our Kingdom Hearts battle system and like update it a little bit with some Final Fantasy shit, and then let's fuck up the story even more. Like, honestly, there's a lot they could have explored. Okay, imagine you didn't play the original. Imagine you get to Hojo's lab or whatever, and they're flashing back to Tifa wearing cowboy boots and a cowboy hat, crying over like it's her dad's body or something like that. Like, if you weren't there, like you were just like, it's gonna be silly to you. Like, you're just gonna laugh out loud. Like, I think if they had approached it as like, okay, we're remaking it, so people playing for the first time, we're gonna help them out. We're gonna throw them a bone, and not like, here's Tifa in the cowboy boots because that's a thing that we did, and I don't know. And I just don't like Squaresoft for me. Squeenix anymore is like visuals over anything else. Like, they try to make the most beautiful games they can, and everything else suffers for it. But that's
I do not disagree with those points. I guess all I'll say is I feel like this game was a fan service game, and maybe that's why you're so pissed, because you hate fan service stuff. So like
yeah,
because to me, I am not all right. I played FF7, I love it, but I'm not one of these people that's like, oh, FF7, everything was so great about it. It was a fun game that the mechanics of the game and how the game worked was cool. But I never thought the story was cool. I never really knew what the fuck was happening. So, to me, in the original, it was stupid.
Like, you ask someone what the story of Final Fantasy VII is, like, Sephiroth, a meteor, that's it. I mean,
still don't understand the whole Zack thing. I don't know who he is in relation to Cloud. I don't need you to explain it either, because I don't care. Who cares?
What's really cool about FF7 is Genova, and I really wish they had gone into more of that. Because Genova's like an alien life form that fell from the sky, and they use her cells to like create these super soldiers, and like one of them is Sephiroth, but like some like he's fucked up for whatever reason. Like, I think that's a really interesting like setup, for some good storytelling, but they didn't
is that in the game? Because I don't remember any of that.
I don't know if it's in the game, but it's what they're trying to say.
Well, yeah, I mean, I back when I played it, the original, I knew Genova was a thing, but I didn't really know. I didn't know what was happening. Granted, it was the first RPG I ever played too, so I really wasn't familiar with like what JRPGs were. So,
I mean, it reads kind of like the Boogie Pop explanation.
Yeah.
Poom Poom is now, is the Pied Piper who is an experiment created in Lab 17, but is actually an alien life form that fell from the sky when the moon exploded.
That's what you call anime bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But anyway,
last point, Midgar actually feeling like a place where people live. Appreciate that. That's all I'll say.
That was nice.
Yeah.
You may not love it, but
I can show you the world. Thanks, Marcus. I'll never forget that.
I don't know how everybody doesn't automatically come to that. Because my wife was even like, no, why'd you say that? Now I can't not hear it. I'm like, I don't know how you didn't hear it before.
You ruined it for me. Thanks.
Good. I'm doing God's work here. All right.
What the hell else?
Anything else you want to defend our land blast, or maybe we should just move on to the next shit?
Mandalorian.
All right, well, that's opening up our next
segment.
Should we
talk about the Mandalorian? Everyone's talking about the Mandalorian.
We need to talk about...
I have to talk to Marcus about the Mandalorian.
Okay.
We have to talk about it because AJ made me watch it, essentially, and I got shit to say. So,
how much did you watch?
I watched the first 4 episodes of the first season.
Okay.
So go for it. Hold up,
Marcus,
just for
clarification,
you go first.
No, okay. Hold on, why do I gotta go first? No,
because you're the one defending yourself now. Alan defended Final Fantasy VII. I defended Dragon Ball. Now you have to defend why you don't like the Mandalorian.
I didn't say that.
Well, you're the one who was opposed to watching it.
I said I had some things to say. No, here's what we're doing. I'm not going first. What we're doing
I've already said what I had to say last. Okay, let me kick it off then.
No, you didn't. All right, stop real quick. Just for clarification for the people listening. This next segment is about media that we consumed outside of the podcast. That's what we're going to talk about now. So this might be TV shows, this might be video games, books, whatever other media that we consider to be like high points or low points. That's what we're doing. AJ, go.
I really like The Mandalorian because it's a great use of the Star Wars universe. The characters are interesting. The plot is interesting. They're bringing in things that were not so much canon that kind of are canon now officially. Things like the dark saber, whatever that's called. What are those stormtroopers called? The dark ones? I don't know. A lot of dark things. Dark troopers, that's what it is.
Everything's just going to be dark pretty soon.
Yep. They're involving characters from the older movies and shows in a not shitty way. And I think they're handling the Star Wars property in a way that it deserves at this point. After the last trilogy, where I don't know, I remember sitting in the theater next to Alan, and we watched that movie together. And I remember saying after this is episode 9, saying I don't see what the big fuss is. I thought it wasn't that bad. And then you go home, and then you start thinking about it, and then you're like, that was kind of stupid. And I think the Red Letter Media guys said it best. And they said, it's good until you think about it. And that pretty much sums up all of the 7 through 9 movies. They're good until you think about them. There's a lot of flashiness. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's entertaining in a way that, watching animals at the zoo is entertaining. Like, you don't really know what to expect, and it's flashy. And maybe that's a bad analogy, but
did you say animals at the zoo?
Yeah, like if you think about animals at the zoo, like their life kind of sucks. But when you're there, you're like, oh, look at the elephant. He's eating a watermelon. I don't know. I just kind of went all in on that analogy, not really thinking that through. But that's kind of how I feel about Star Wars.
No, when you explained it, it made sense.
So that's where I was with Star Wars going into The Mandalorian, and then Mandalorian just the biggest thing is like the movies rushed you through this story, like, okay, get invested in this character as fast as you can. Okay, now this girl has force powers, and here's a lightsaber, and here's some space battles, and it just like pushed you through like a roller coaster. The Mandalorian like slows it down, and it lets you appreciate the fact that you're watching a Star Wars show, which is basically the same production level as a movie, and just letting you take in the fact that you've had some investment in this universe for the last 40 years. Like, let's go to that universe and just see what's happening at the lowest levels of the planets. So you've got the bounty hunter aspects. You've got people just doing what they got to do to live in this universe. You don't have epic space battles with 1 million ships. You don't have lightsabers. You don't have, well, you have force powers, but that's different. Like, it's not
dark sabers.
Yeah, it's not all about the Force and the Jedi and the Empire and the Senate and, vying for power. It's not this high level impact on the entire universe. It's like, it's all happening in this dude's world. Like, this is the Mandalorian's world to him. Like, this is his story, and this is the stuff that happens to him. And it just happens to be in the Star Wars universe. And it feels more like Firefly than it does like a Star Wars movie, and I love Firefly, so I think most people probably disagree with that because Firefly has a lot of other things that are good about it, but that's that kind of space cowboy feel and that Wild West but in space. That's the feel I get from The Mandalorian, and that's why it's good.
Do I have to talk about it?
If you want. I mean, If you talk about it, talk about, I guess, specifically season 2, because that's what happened this year. That's what you guys actually watched this year.
Yeah, sure. Season 2 lost a little bit of the luster for me. There were some parts where like the first season just felt like big. It felt like a movie. It felt like big production value. There were some spots in the second season where like you could tell like the CG wasn't quite there. It was like A tier but not S tier. I mean, it was still good, like better than most things you see for a serial or for a series. But so that lost me a little bit. But yeah, the best thing about it is, or I've always said like one of the strengths of Star Wars is the universe, and also after watching The Mandalorian, I feel like the creatures are one of the like underutilized parts of Star Wars, because if you think back to the movies, like the banthas and the even in the prequel trilogy, they're underwater, and all of a sudden there's this big ass fish. It's like never mind the drama between like the Empire and the Republic and all that stuff. No matter how epic that is like it's a wild ass universe out there. Like at any moment something crazy could come out of a hole and like swallow you or fuck you up. So they do a lot of that. They explore that in The Mandalorian, and it's fun. And also it just feels like a video game where you go on a mission and there's complications, but it all works out by the end of the episode. And then like by the end of season 2, they've got this party of characters. It's just like you can feel it. Like I can imagine the show as like a 16-bit RPG where like Fennec just joined the party, or like Boba Fett just joined the party.
Right.
Sorry, spoilers, but yeah, stuff like, I mean, it's just fun. It's a whole lot of fun. So, and it's done very well.
My thing with the characters is like when you were hearing news about season 2, it was like, oh, Ashoka's gonna join the cast and Boba Fett's gonna join the cast. It's like, I don't want this show to be about them, because it's not that I don't like them as characters. Well, Boba Fett was kind of a crappy character, because he didn't really do anything in the movies. But it's like, I don't want them to shoehorn original Star Wars trilogy stuff into this show just to make it like appealing to that crowd. I want it to just be its own thing.
Honestly,
but the way they did it,
go ahead.
The way they did it, like they did it in a way that made sense, that didn't detract from The Mandalorian itself as a show. Like they were more just cameos with like impact points on the story. They weren't like taking over the story. So
well, I feel like season 1 did a great job of like getting you invested in the character of the Mandalorian. Like, oh, he's like a zealot, more or less. He's from this sect of the Mandalorian, faith or whatever, or culture, and he's a foundling, and like there's all this stuff that goes along with that. And then in season 2, like you can start to see like the cash grab and the long-term planning come into place, where like, here's Ahsoka and there's an Ahsoka show, and here's Boba Fett and there's going to be a Boba Fett show, and everything's going to be they're laying the groundwork. Like Mandalorian's like the platform or the springboard for all this other shit. But like I never cared about any of those characters. Like I didn't watch Clone Wars. I don't care who Ahsoka is. I don't really care about Boba Fett. I didn't even care about the big reveal at the end of season 2. I was just like, okay, fine, you get more of that guy. Which I know, I guess I'm weird, because like people aren't like, I'm sure like all the nerds went wild, like, yes, we get to, I'm sure that was a big moment for a lot of people, but I thought the way he came in like was weak. Like I feel like the choreography was really weak, like when they were watching him over the video feed, and I was just like, it's like, I don't care who this is. I just like, I don't care. Like their entrance is so whack. Like I would almost rather have a new character, because like the Mandalorian was a new character, and now they're bringing in all these old fucks, and like I don't care. Like it's old to me. I want new things in this universe.
I don't think that was impactful as they wanted it to be. It was cool, but it was like, oh, okay. At the same time, like you see a comment, it's like, oh, I think that's him. Oh, it is him. Cool. And then you're like, wait a minute. No.
Then why did he had the lamest, like, he looked like a 10-year-old, like, mimicking lightsaber motions.
Yeah.
Like, I swing over here, and then I stop. And then I swing over here, and then I stop. But it looked like, it was like an amateur, like, actor doing an action scene. It was really bad. I was really disappointed.
I think they can do good stuff with the Star Wars series if they take these characters that they've introduced and I don't know. They can easily screw it up though. Like if they keep it down to focusing on a character and the situations they get in, like I think it can be good if they can find a way to keep it fresh. Like don't just do the Mandalorian with Ashoka or the Mandalorian with Boba Fett. Like do other interesting things that Star Wars is good for. Otherwise, it's just gonna get get stale.
Cash cow.
Real
They're
fast.
they're gonna milk it.
I don't have faith that Disney isn't gonna screw it up after this, but I'm willing to give it a try. It doesn't. You're right.
I mean, people talk a lot of shit.
It's free money.
About,
it's a money machine.
Yeah, it's like people talk a lot of shit about Episode 8 and Episode 9. It's like, how much money did Episode 9 make after everybody was pissed? Not everybody, but tons of people were pissed about Episode 8. It's one of those things where it has Star Wars on the name, so people are just gonna watch the shit. People watch the shit.
Love it or hate it, the money's gonna be there, whether or not it looked upon.
I think
favorably.
9 did make less money than they wanted it to, but it's not like it lost money. Like they never lose money; they just don't make as much as they want.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know,
we made these corporations.
Yeah, it's like
that bailout money.
We made $15 million less than we thought we were gonna make. It's like, well, we still did over 50, so
I mean,
however much it was.
Million.
Those shareholders, that board is gonna be very disappointed when their bonus is slightly reduced.
They do so well that Kathleen Kennedy tells fans, the true fans of Star Wars that are complaining basically to suck a dick, you're being babies. That's how well they do. She can just go on the stage and be like, you guys are toxic. Fuck you, Star Wars. I'm like, bitch, these people are the reason that Star Wars is even making another movie. Because they're the ones that were crying in the theater when Episode 4 first came out. Yeah, exactly. It's like you can do whatever you want, but it just doesn't make sense. But it doesn't matter. You're still going to see it. People hate Kathleen Kennedy, and they will still consume everything Disney Star Wars that comes out. Everything.
All right, Marcus,
that's just what it's gonna be.
Tell us why you didn't like The Mandalorian.
I didn't say that. I didn't like it.
All right, fine.
Yeah. So AJ has been on me to watch The Mandalorian because I'm an asshole, and after Episode 7 of Star Wars, I became apathetic about Star Wars. Just because, to me, they basically remade 4, and that's not why I liked Star Wars. I wasn't mad at the prequels for not feeling like the old movies. I was mad at them for being shitty. But I liked them because they made the universe feel bigger, and that was interesting. That was the thing that I liked about them, even though I think 1 and 2 are shit, and 3 is okay. So when that happened with 7, I was just like, done. Only reason I watched Episode 8 is because our mutual friend Jerome came up to hang out one day. It was like, we're watching this. I'm like, okay. So I watched it. Didn't see 9. Had no interest. Unless Jerome makes me watch it again, I'm not going to watch it. Because at this point, I'm just apathetic. I don't care about Star Wars anymore. So AJ's like, well, Mandalorian changes the game. It's everything that you want Star Wars to be. So just watch it. And I'm like,
I love your AJ impression.
You know what? It might be good. In fact, I bet it's good. I just don't give a fuck. Like, it's not even like I'm being a dick because I kind of revel in the fact that I don't give a fuck anymore and everybody else does care. But I'm not like, I bet it's shit. I'm just like, I don't want to watch it because Star Wars means nothing to me anymore. And I don't want to spend any more time in that universe. But anyway, he wore me down. I was like, I'll watch it for the podcast because I'll watch almost anything for the podcast. And watched the first 4 episodes with my wife. And I can say that my apathy towards Star Wars after watching the first 4 episodes is pretty well intact. I didn't care for it. I didn't think it was bad or horrible, but I thought it was way overhyped. It ain't that good. It's just not. Maybe it gets better, but like, I guess the main thing about the show that I took from it. Let me talk about the things I like. Production value off the charts. It looks fucking great. Like, it looks better than HBO production quality. It is cinema, full feature film production quality. Mando's ship looks dope. I love it. My wife loves it. She's like, it's so ugly, but it's so pretty. And I'm like, exactly, yeah.
I agree.
I can deal with that. And so we're watching the first episode, and at first I'm just being a dick because, it's the first episode and I'm still in my Star Wars mode. Like, oh, that's dumb. Why does he have a bunch of dudes in carbonite? That's not what carbonite's used for.
You know what? I went back and rewatched the first episode. I was like, yeah, that's pretty weird.
Yeah, like the reason they put Han in carbonite in episode 5 was because that was the best way to incarcerate him with the equipment that they had on hand. It's not that was the way that they treated bounty hunters. So I was nitpicking stuff like that, just being an asshole, even though I wasn't really, really mad by it, but I did call it out. I was like, oh, Mando looks weird to me because he's supposed to have an antenna because I'm just used to seeing Boba Fett's helmet. So that's stupid that he doesn't have an antenna. Wrong. Yeah, I know. That's bullshit nitpicky stuff. That doesn't even make sense. But first episode was actually pretty decent. It didn't give me like a boner because I don't care about the universe anymore. But I did think that the progression of the story was good. The bounty hunter droid, the IG-4, IG-11, whatever it's called, that thing was dope. Like the design of that droid,
he was awesome.
Like his behaviors and his movements were fucking awesome. And I'm like, yeah, this is where the Star Wars universe shines. Cool. They show me more stuff like this, I'll be in. So it was all right. That was a good episode. I'm like, okay, let's continue this.
The old man's key too. Like he's just fun. That old dude is
I ain't on that
I've
old
spoken
man.
guy.
I ain't on that old man all that much. He's funny.
He was cool because he just felt like he belonged in the Star Wars universe. Like
okay,
he was just doing his thing.
I'll agree with you. Old man was fine. He was fine. The prosthetics looked great. And the way he talked was funny. I have spoken. He ended every conversation with that. So that was cool. But that episode, nah, it was boring. I didn't like it that much.
The first one or the second one?
The second one. First episode was fine. This is the second episode.
That's the one where he fights like the big creature with the horn.
He fights the Mohorn thing, which he kills with this itty bitty little knife, which I'm like, I'm supposed to believe.
Yeah, that was a little silly.
Like that's bullshit. But here's the main thing. I'll speed through this because I'm going too slow right now. But a thing that happened multiple times in the first 4 episodes that I did not like was that they had these fucking montages in a show that's too new for a montage. Like, I don't have any investment in this character yet. I'm not invested that much in the characters that he is meeting or even in the journey. Like, I don't even know what the journey is.
If you're learning to ride a beast, you need a montage. I'm sorry, that is
Don't
standard.
learn to ride the beast. You're wasting my time. These are episodes. This isn't a movie. Like, how long are these episodes? Like 40 minutes long?
Something like that.
Yeah. It's like, he's like, I need to teach you. And you're just going to believe that he can't ride this beast. And then he has the montage. And then it's like 5 minutes later in the episode. But this big connection, they're playing the music like this connection is supposed to happening. Like he's getting back to some sort of roots or he's learning about how to bond with this animal, which really we don't even spend that much time with. The design of the animal was cool. I like that.
Hold up. What about him trying to climb the Jawa tank, the big Jawa, like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it was fun. It wasn't amazing. It was okay.
I like when he's popping Jawas with his sniper rifle.
That was funny.
Disintegrating. That was great.
That was funny. Like, the show was full of, like, decent moments, but, like, the overall story, I'm just like, I don't really care. It's kind of slow. It's kind of boring. It's like, I'm Mando, and then I find Baby Yobes, and Yoba Baby, cute as shit. Probably the best part of the show, honestly.
It's adorbs.
The cutest thing ever.
He's selling toys.
But Baby Yobo, like, he ain't, like, I'm not, like, I like him, but I'm not going to watch a show because something's cute. If that's the best part of the show, then I just don't really care that much. And then I'll fast forward to episode 4 where he, like, goes to the village, and then he, like, there's a montage where they teach them how to fight because he hooks up with Cara Dune, who's the mercenary chick on this planet that he's on. And they're like, you have to fight these raiders that are outfitted with weapons They have an ATST and blah, blah, blah. And they do this montage where they give them like sticks that they don't even sharpen that much. And I'm supposed to believe that they fucking win. And then he like has this relationship with the woman, like, oh, you could stay here and we can be together. And he fucking almost does it. And it's just like, that's great. Well, she's not really that interesting. And we've only been here for one episode. So I don't really have a connection to your relationship. So
I forgot that was like, a thing, but
don't care. I'd like,
here's why that episode shines for me. Because when that ATST shows up and it's dark and like the red eyes pop up, and like that's the first time in a Star Wars movie or anything you realize that like going against an ATST when you're just like a bunch of people with like sticks and stuff, like that's a pretty formidable thing. Like you gotta watch out and be careful. Like it just looked like it was the presence of it was intimidating to see.
And then the battle sucked.
It was a different context for the ATST.
I mean, hooray for context. Honestly, hooray for the whole concept of the show. Honestly, like when I heard that they were doing it, I was like, I'm not going to watch it, but that's awesome. Yeah, make a show about a Mandalorian so everybody could stop acting like Boba Fett's fucking awesome because he's not. Give us a Mandalorian that actually is worthy of all the action figures that he sells. Yes, I am on board. Not going to watch it, support it though. Go ahead and do it. Like, I love the concept. A lot of the things that happen in the show, they set them up really well, but the payoff just isn't there for me. So it's like there's this ATST and none of the villagers get smoked. No, like half of them should have died. Like it's dumb. And then on top of that, like the production quality and the moments and all of this stuff is cool, but I feel like I'm watching an HBO production with sci-fi acting. Pedro Pascal, not talking about him. That's my dude. That dude is fucking great as the Mandalorian. Like him. Everybody else, their acting is weak, yo. Like, I'm just not that impressed by it. It's like, this just feels like corny. Not Nick Nolte, not I Have Spoken guy. But everybody else, man, me and Faith were both like, these lines just feel stiff.
Some of them are pretty weak.
So it's like at the end of the day, I don't hate the show, but I feel like what this show is an extension of what the trilogy is. That it's like, give the Star Wars people more Star Wars and the Star Wars people will watch. I'm not a Star Wars person anymore. I don't give a shit about that universe anymore. So I'm like, it's just not for me. I'm just like, all right, it's okay. Everybody's talking about how amazing it is. The only thing that lived up to the hype was how cute Baby Yobes was. Baby Yobo's cute as fuck. And I'm like, yeah, Yobo all day.
Call him Yobo.
Yeah, that's what he's called. He's Yobes. Yoba baby.
Okay.
Marcus, I appreciate you trying.
Yeah,
if
so
nothing else.
Stop trying to get me to watch it, all right?
I'm done. I you watched it, you didn't care for it, and that's all I care to ask for. I'm not gonna say it gets better. It does get better in some ways. But if you don't like it from the get-go, you're probably not going to like it at the end any better. So it does a lot. Like if you had any investment in the Star Wars universe, it does a lot to kind of self-correct. Maybe not retcon so much, but the things that didn't make sense that people complain about, it does make an attempt to explain them in a way that is fitting to the Star Wars universe. So I do appreciate that about it, that it's trying to basically give credence to the Disney Star Wars, that it's trying to stay faithful to the original trilogy and the original concept. So, but hey, if you didn't like it, you're probably not going to like it if you didn't like the first 4 episodes, because I think the first 4 episodes set the tone, and I think that tone's pretty well matched for, I'd say, most of the first season and probably half the episodes in the second season. There's a couple other episodes that get more action-packed, more focused like that. And then, a lot of times it is Monster of the Week, where they solve a problem and then they move on to the next thing, which I like about it.
And for the record, I don't mind Monster of the Week. Just don't write an episode that's supposed to take up space over the span of like a week, where you got to teach some people some shit. Like, write your episode to be about, I'm going in this compound to save the little orphan boy that I don't want to die, even though he's supposed to die. Like make a whole episode about like that 2 hours of where that happens, rather than we go to a village and then I meet a mercenary and then I'm trying to fix my ship and then the guy hires me and then I live here for a while and then I fall in love kind of, but then we get found out and it's like it's too much shit for one episode.
I didn't have a problem with that.
That's a weak thing because it's just it happens too fast, so I don't believe it and I don't care.
I don't. Fair enough. The thing is, like with the first episode, you have to establish what's happening, and you have to establish all these things that lead up to that. And you have.
I didn't. So, I said the first episode was fine. I have no complaints about the first episode. It was fine.
But you're complaining about the montage.
The montage ain't the first episode.
When he gets the pauldron and then the lady with
you're right. It is because you're right. It is because he has to learn how to ride the thing to get to the compound.
That's how he gets to where
Yoda was at. Oh yeah, and then they got through that compound super easy. And they was like, this job is worth 80 billion Beskar. And then it's like they didn't even do tactics. The droid just walked in there and killed the fuck out of everybody. And then Boba Fett Jr. came, was like, oh, I guess we got to work together. And they just shot everybody. Like, it wasn't even smart. It wasn't even like he gets back and is like, your reputation precedes you. And it's like, well, he ain't really do nothing but shoot a lot. Like,
it just shows how cool he is.
Nah.
Werner Herzog, man. Werner Herzog.
I like Werner Herzog. He's all right, but nah. It's really, I think my main beef, I know it's my wife's main beef, is with how hyped it is. And it's like, it's all right. I get people liking it. I don't, like I said, I don't
very
think
likable.
I don't think it's shit, but everybody's like, oh, Mando. I'm like, I guess I'm so apathetic on Star Wars at this point that I
think your apathy for Star Wars hurts your experience a lot. The fact that you do not care about Star Wars one bit to the point where you are just anti-Star Wars.
No, I think you are firmly anti-Star Wars at this point.
Yes.
I
think you've lost your objectivity. You've been compromised.
There's nothing that will bring you back.
Okay. Here's the one reason I don't think I'm anti-Star Wars, or at the very least anti-Mandalorian. It's because I have not seen Episode 9, and I think that movie's shit.
Well,
and I'm not going to watch it, and I'm going to call it shit, because I am very much anti the 7 through 9. Very much so. My wife was trashing Mando after we watched it. She was like, it's whack. I was like, it's not whack. It's not whack. It's just not as good as everybody's saying it is. That's all. So I'm not really anti the show. Really, I'm anti-hype, which I've always been that. I've always been anti-hype. Like, if something is hyped, it better be fucking good. Like, it needs to be fucking good, or else everybody chill. But it's the Star Wars thing. Just like you guys are saying, my antipathy maybe makes me biased against it. I think everybody, like, having such a Star Wars boner, like, makes them put so much more into it. Because I'm just like, what? I was expecting so much more.
I mean, I think it's one of those things that's either for you or it's not for you.
And I've set my expectations. Like, I think Mandalorian's good. I don't have faith that they're going to not screw up Star Wars later on down the road with these other TV series that they have coming out, these other movies. Like, honestly, they announced like 6 or 7 different things in the last 2 weeks. And I'm like,
what the fuck really... is Andor? Like, who? I don't know what that
is. Yeah, I'm not hyped to watch any of these things. I see these things pop up and I'm like, okay. There's like a cartoon coming out. I'm like, all right, whatever. No.
Okay.
I don't care. I like the Mandalorian.
Those weird clone troopers. I went back and started watching Clone Wars, and they introduced those guys, and it's the most like cookie cutter. Like, that guy over there's a sniper, and his name's Crosshair, and he's got a scar on his eye, and he's got an Australian accent, so he's a hard ass. Like, I was like, oh, they're gonna make a live. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I'm just like, okay, this was your stepping stone to cash cow again for Star Wars. You ran out of movies, you ran out of scripts, you don't want to do the Star Wars story movies because Solo was a flop. So let's do Mandalorian, make it really, really good, get people to buy into Star Wars again, and then just flood it again, and everything's going to suck. So I don't have faith that Star Wars is back forever, but I do like Mandalorian.
Oh, Andor's the guy from Rogue One. I didn't know that. I never saw Rogue One.
See, he's so unremarkable.
Yeah.
Like, why are they making a movie about him?
I'm glad you brought up Rogue One. Another example of my antipathy not being a bad thing is because I saw Rogue One because a friend of mine really wanted to go, and I really wanted to hang out. It was like Friday night or something, and I was like in the mood for socialization. He's just like, man, let's go see Rogue One. I'm like, I don't want to fucking watch this movie. Guess what? I like Rogue One. There are things about it I hate. I'm not going to get into them, but overall, I had a good time watching Rogue One, and that's really not.
I'm gonna watch Rogue One, and I'm gonna, I don't know. I'm gonna judge you based on how I receive Rogue One.
I like Rogue
One,
it. But I've never wanted to sit down and watch it again. I don't know why.
I don't need to watch it again. It's not that good. I don't need to watch it again, but I was going into the theater actively not wanting to be there. Actively. And then was like, oh shit, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying. As far as like being biased. Like
that was still on the heels. I think that came out before episode 8. And Star Wars hadn't lost all of its.
No, that was before the new. Before the new trilogy, right?
No, it wasn't.
No. It was after 7, but before 8, I think.
Yeah, and that if you want to say that I'm biased, there would have been no bigger time in my life that I would have been more biased after episode 7, because I fucking was pissed about that movie, and everybody loved it. Everybody was like, "Yeah, it's back," and I was the only person that was like, "You like that? Really? Okay, all of you are basic bitches. You just want to be spoon-fed shit you've seen before. Like, that's not what I'm here for. Fuck you. Fuck Star Wars. I'm out." That wasn't apathy at that point. Like, I was mad. I was like, fuck Star Wars. Fuck Disney. Fuck George Lucas for selling it. Fuck everybody. Like, so the fact that I walked into Rogue One and was like, not bad. That was fun. I liked it. Says something.
All right.
And Rogue One one more point. Rogue One and Mandalorian kind of share a lot of the same aesthetics. Like they both just basically extensions of the original trilogy.
Yes, exactly.
Which is really what people wanted from Star Wars all along. So, yeah. Anyway.
But I liked Rogue One because fuck it. I'm not gonna get into that. Let's go to the next thing.
What the hell else are we gonna talk about?
Was there anything else from the year that you wanted to talk about, AJ? Or should we move on?
I had one more thing, and that was Xbox. Because Taco Bell gave me a free one, and I was like, cool.
That is so dope.
The biggest thing about Xbox is the Game Pass, and that's like the best freaking deal in gaming.
Oh, so that shit's like $1 right now. Go get it. It might not be in 2 weeks
it's $1
when you hear this, but...
Yeah, if it's $1 for like 3 months, and if you can find it cheap, get it. If you have a PC or an Xbox that can play it, like I've got this Xbox. I don't know when it came out, October or November or something. November, I think. I've not bought a game for the Xbox, but I play it all the time because all the games I get are free. So I've got Game Pass for a year or something, and I don't need to buy any games because they just come to Game Pass, and I've got games to play. So I don't own any physical games. And I don't plan on buying anything because there's so much crap on there that I'll never run out of stuff to play. So if you're looking for a good deal in gaming, get an Xbox and get Game Pass, and you'll be set for a pretty long time. Now, if you play games like 80 hours a week, I mean, you'll probably burn through all the titles that are on there pretty quick. Cause I think there's like 200, and if you're only interested in like a quarter of them, then you'll probably go through them pretty quick. But for someone like me who only plays, I don't know, maybe 5 hours a week, if that, it's going to last me a very long time. So good deal. I recommend it. Go get it. Or get
this
a PS5.
episode was brought to you by Xbox. X1 X Series 5.
That shit is confusing, by the way.
Buy it.
I don't understand what the fuck Xbox's problem is. Like, name your shit better. Why is this so hard?
I don't
like
know.
they're
Why
just
is it so
trying to
hard?
be different. I thought the name Xbox was stupid, like from the jump when it first came out. I was like, Xbox, like that's dumb. And like I'm used to it now. I'm just like, oh, it's the Xbox. Then they're like Xbox One, Xbox 360. Where you know what? If you turn around 360 degrees, you end up right back where you started. So good job there. The Xbox One, like we're going backwards now. This is the one, and now you got Xbox. First of all, they had 1S. Wasn't 1S a thing?
1S and 1X.
And now they have
they're
Series
on...
S and Series X.
Right. It's confusing. And I'll even read some chat that says like, oh, I'm playing it on Xbox One. And I'll think it's Xbox Series X or whatever.
You know how stupid
not
they
know the
are?
difference.
It's fucking Christmas. So how many parents are going to be online or at the store like, I want the Xbox what?
No, it's
XO?
actually smart. No, I think this is their strategy. They're losing so bad. Like they got stomped so bad by PlayStation 4 in the last cycle that they're counting on the confusion of people like, I want the X1. No, I want the Series 1S. No, I want the S5, Series 1. I think they're counting on that confusion people to buy shit they don't need or don't want. And then they still got to buy something else.
You know what? With my dad, let's say I was in high school again or whatever, still living at home, I was like, Dad, give me the new shit. Well, he would have said no, but let's pretend he would have given me one. He's the type of dude that I'd be like, I want the Xbox, whatever.
Yeah.
And then he'd be like,
he'd buy you the first generation.
No, what he would do is he'd be like, you guys got the X, give me a PS5. I know what that shit is. Give me that. Yeah. Oh, Switch. Switch is super cheap. Give me that, actually.
Yep.
They would lose a sale just because he'd be like, the fuck? That one. The one I can say. The one that I don't have to know specs or anything about. It's just the brand name. It's like, it's Sony. It's good.
When they announced the Series X, the Xbox One X became like a best-selling item on Amazon because of the confusion.
See, that's what they were counting on.
So yeah, I think it's a valid strategy to confuse and to sell old hardware to people who don't know better.
Maybe you're right. Maybe.
To be fair, all the games run on both. Like I don't own a Series X game because they're all just Xbox games, which is both stupid and smart, I guess, because I can play all the old games, but there's no next-gen games that have come out for Xbox Series X or S. So it's like, why buy a console? Just play all the stuff you got now. Whereas PS5 has a few that are specifically for PS5. The games still look good, but they're not Series X games, which is pretty stupid. But I can't complain because I got it for free, so...
You gonna get Cyberpunk?
Nope, because they fucked it up.
Not on the next-gen systems. I thought they worked fine on next-gen.
They don't have it. The ones they released are for the last-gen consoles that happen to work on the next-gen systems. They don't have a next-gen update until sometime next year. So I'm just going to wait until they work out all the kinks, and then maybe the game drops to like $30, then maybe I'll buy it.
Okay.
Or maybe it'll come to Game Pass, and I won't have to buy it.
Yeah, that feels like the Game of Thrones of this year. Cyberpunk.
It's the scandal of the century.
Oh my god,
the biggest. Oh man,
that makes me sad too because they're such a legit company.
Yeah.
Oh, they were.
Well, they were. Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah. Fuck, dude.
Marcus.
It's a shame, really, because it did look cool. But
me. What about me?
Jujutsu Kaisen. I watched another episode.
Okay.
Today.
Okay.
And it was like the 5th episode, and I was just like, eh. Actually, no. I watched the fight scene. It was a kind of a weak episode, I think, overall. But the action
the show starts real strong. It starts off real strong and lulls a little bit.
Well, this is only episode 5, but it was right after. It was when I don't know his name. He pulls the heart out of the guy who he's living inside, and then he has to fight. What's his name? Emo guy with the rain dripping from his hair.
Megumi, probably.
Yes, yeah, he fought Megumi, but the animation on the action was notably more interesting than Akudama Drive. So confirmed. I said I'd go back. I finally delivered on a promise, sort of. Yeah, and I'm done for the year.
I'm still mad at you though, because you kept watching Akudama, which means you're more interested.
You know what I'm going to do when we're done here? I'm going to watch the next episode of
You're a piece of shit. That show sucks. That show is garbage.
I'm just morbidly curious now because I'm like,
I don't understand. I think you just like cyberpunk settings, and maybe that's what's carrying you through.
I think it is. I like the setting. And, well, last episode, like, I want to see these people die is the thing. Because I think they might all die. I think this might just be one and done, and everyone dies at the end.
Yeah, that's so crazy to me, dude. Jujutsu is the. I get it. If it's not your thing, fine.
No,
don't. It. If you don't want to, don't do it. I'm not gonna watch more Mando, so I'm not gonna insist.
You know what it is though? It feels very small. Like it feels like it's just these like 5 or 10 characters, and there's nobody else in the damn world. Nobody else exists because like we haven't really seen anybody else at this point. But you know,
that's not a problem for me because I like everyone. Their interactions are so much more interesting. Like Akudama, they talk to each other, and I don't give a shit.
No, I do hate. I do hate. I
don't care what any of you have to say. I don't care what your next move is. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care about none of that. Like Jujutsu, it's more standard because it just takes place in Tokyo with high school students with supernatural shit happen. We've seen it all before, so I get it. I get that the setting probably turns you off some, or at the most just doesn't interest you so much, even if you don't hate it. But like the things they say to each other are so much more interesting. The way that they react to one another, like the jokes that they tell, and it's far more interesting to me than anything in Akudama. But you know, you want to watch whack shit, go for it.
I will watch my whack shit, and then I'll watch the stuff that you like, and I'll call it whack shit, and then we can fight about it. And the world, that's what makes the world go round.
Go for it. Yeah,
I'm just gonna keep watching Dragon Ball. Y'all can enjoy.
AJ's over here watching Dragon Ball.
Well,
good old time.
We're gonna watch 3 episodes of it.
/ not watching it.
Yeah. Apparently, I don't actually have to watch it to know what happens. So maybe I'll just like put it on for 5 seconds and be like, "Well, I watched it."
That'll be a fun game. I mean, take a guess. Like, you're probably gonna be right.
Yeah, that sounds boring to me. That doesn't even sound fun.
But they're fighting. Let's fighting love.
It's boring because it's predictable.
Why would I ever sit down and watch a show where I can predict all of the beats? Like, there's no journey in that. There's no exploration in that.
Nope. There's no human growth. The's no.
It's like I turn it on and I'm like, oh, I don't have to watch this, and then I turn it off and do something better with my time.
Yeah, but you're more focused than I am. I'm happy to multitask while watching something. That's the beauty of it, is the multitask ability of it.
Yeah, I can't multitask, so like if I multitask,
then you can't watch Dragon Ball Super.
Say what?
On the back, and then you can't watch Dragon Ball Super while it's on in the background.
Yeah, and I don't want to. But we have a special episode coming up. Details on that to come in 2021. So we'll end up watching a little bit of it.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah, we did, and then we didn't talk about it, so I forgot.
Yep. Anyways, anything else that you want to bring up?
That
for 2020.
It. Fuck 2020. It's the worst ass year. Fuck you and die forever.
Well, the good thing about that is there will never be another 2020.
Unless
don't
we
mean
all get sucked into a time hole, which is probably what's going to happen next year, and it's going to be Groundhog Year, and we're going to relive this stupid year over and over forever, and that's how it ends.
I think the virus is mutating.
That's probably happening too, along with a bunch of other shit.
Viruses are always mutating.
We don't know about yet.
Okay, let me get positive. I've been so negative this episode, and I'm not going to lie. It's made me very happy. But
you being negative has made you happy?
Yeah, I love trash and shit.
I know.
Actually, I'm gonna start out negative, and this isn't gonna be fighting you guys. This is gonna be me ranting. So, two things that I want to bring up: my high and my lowest low of the year. My lowest low of the year is this anime called Hitori no Shita, The Outcast. 2 seasons of it are up on Crunchyroll. The reason I know about this show is because every once in a while, I'll go down a YouTube rabbit hole where I'll just watch anime fight scenes because I love me some really good anime action. And this show kept coming up because apparently the 3rd season of the show is animated super ridiculous. And there's a couple of fight sequences in it that look amazing. It's like this guy, he's using like Tai Chi or some other sort of Kung Fu. And the animation is very natural. It looks so good. And the fight scenes are really complex. It's not just punching and kicking. There's a lot of like joint manipulation and parrying and dodging. And there's a really good ebb and flow to the action. Like you feel it when people are put on their heels and when they're like bouncing back to do a counterattack or whatever. It's great. So I'm like, what the hell is this show? Like I keep seeing this fight scene pop up. Like I want to watch this. Oh, it's Hitori no Shita, and they have the first 2 seasons on Crunchyroll, so I'm going to watch it. So I watched like the first few episodes earlier this year, and I'm like, okay, this doesn't look like the same show. Like, did I get it wrong? Maybe I got it wrong. So I went back and make sure I got the title right. It was the right one. It's the same anime. So I'm like, all right, well, maybe it's just one of those situations where, it gets like it takes a while for the story to kick in or something, or the animation gets better or whatever. I made it probably 6 episodes just wanting to get through it, just wanting it to get good. Because I'm like, man, I need to see these fight scenes that happen in season 3. But what I find out is season 3 is like only available in China. So the only way to watch it is if you like pirate that shit. And I don't pirate anymore. I don't do torrents. I don't know I don't know how to get shit anymore. I just don't do that stuff anymore.
That's how you get virused.
There's so much stuff streaming that I'm just like, I don't want to work that hard like I used to back in high school to get my anime. Like I just want to watch what's available. And it's like apparently that's the only season that's good. And I looked on Wikipedia to see, like, is there a release date? Wikipedia has 0 information on the 3rd season. It's just the first 2. And let me tell you something. That first, or at least the part of the first season I watched, is trash. It gets my trash award. Like, Boogie Pop, I hate. I hate it so much. But I will hesitate to even call it trash. Because I know that they had to think a little bit to make that show happen. There's like some sort of artistic endeavor that they put into making that weird shit. Like I kind of granted that. So I'm like, I don't like it. I think it's whack, but I haven't straight up called it trash. This shit is trash. The animation is garbage. The main character's garbage. The story's garbage. Everything about it is garbage and I hate it. I hate quit that 10 times harder than I hate quit Akudama Drive. Like, it made me so mad. And really because, I saw the diamond in the rough. I saw where the show gets to. And I'm like, I can't even do it.
You got catfished, man. That's what it sounds like.
I did get catfished. It made me so pissed off. And the thing that made me even more mad is, like, I'm going online and I'm like, does anybody, like, somebody has to corroborate what I'm saying. Like, I need some validation.
No.
And there are so many people that say, like, oh, this show is so good. The story is like, it's an allegory for China and stuff. I'm like, I don't give a fuck what it's an allegory about. It's dumb. The story's stupid. The writing is stupid. The main character's stupid. And it looks shitty. It looks so shitty. Like, the character designs are terrible. The color palette is fucking boring for what the show is supposed to be about, which is these kung fu practitioners that have like supernatural powers. It made me so angry that I searched for maybe like 30 minutes before I found a bunch of comments where people were actually agreeing with me where they were like, season 3 brought me here, started watching it, and I regret it. And I'm like, I wanted to find this person and hug them. I didn't care if they had COVID or not. Like, I don't care what they were sick with. Like, I'm just like, thank you. Somebody finally agrees with what I'm seeing, and I'm not a crazy person. Because the shit's not good. It's not. It just isn't. So if you're listening to this and you're one of those people that thinks it's good, it's sorry, no.
What's it called so I can avoid it like the plague?
Hitori no Shita. It's not hard to avoid. I mean, like,
okay.
it's never up
I'm
in
just
your
saying
face.
in case I get catfish the way you do, in case I get seduced by the fight scenes and I can remember, wait, not worth it.
It's whack. I mean, if you find the season 3 fight scenes on YouTube, watch them because they're good. Like, I remember we were talking about last time on the pod, our like tier system for fight scenes. That's like S class. Like so well animated, so much interesting choreography. Just like a really good flow of the whole thing. Like it's great. They're kind of hard to find because the third season isn't available here, so you really got to dig to get them. But speaking of S class action, the Fog Hill of Five Elements, Chinese animation that isn't released here. I've only been able to find it like pirated on YouTube, and oftentimes like you have to search because it'll get taken down and then somebody else will put it up. But that, if you want to see SS class animation and fight scene, that's awesome. I think in Chinese it's Wu Jing Wu Jia. I know I'm saying that terribly, but something like that. The Fog Hill of Five Elements, so that's awesome. Anyway, my real high for the year is a little show that I watched called Erased. Came out in 2016, actually, but Netflix.
We didn't talk about Erased.
No, Netflix just got it this year. So I didn't see it until this year. Because I was like, I've heard of this. Friends of mine have told me about it, that it's good, so I'll watch it. And that's probably the best series that I've seen in a while. It's so fucking good. Just 12 episodes and it's all just suspense, thriller, kind of unorthodox detective story of this 29-year-old guy who has this thing called, what's his power called? Do you remember what it's called?
I'm trying to remember, and I can't.
It's like something.
Oh.
I'm not going to get it. I forget what it's called. But anyway.
What's the word that means like dream? Revelry or something?
Dream?
Revelry? Is he called?
I don't know.
Is that what he's...
All right, I'm gonna just have to look it up. I was going to try to not look it up, but let's just do it. Revival. That's what it's called. So it's this ability where he will be going about his business. He'll see this weird luminescent butterfly in his vision. And then all of a sudden he'll find himself like back to where he was maybe like a couple of seconds ago. So it's almost kind of like this weird glitch in the Matrix thing happens to him. But when that happens, he knows that something around him in his vicinity bad is about to happen. Like there's going to be an accident, somebody's going to die, and he has to look at everything and pay attention really hard to figure out like what's the thing that's going to happen. So I think the first thing you see in the series is like he saves this kid from getting like hit by a truck. So he lives with this power. And without going too far into it, the majority of the show takes place when something really traumatic happens to him, and then he gets teleported all the way back to 1988, which is not usually how his power works. So all of a sudden, he's a kid again. And at that time, there was a case of serial murders that happened to a bunch of his classmates at the school he was going to.
Well, they went missing. They didn't. Did they find bodies?
Oh, I thought they found the bodies. Maybe they did.
I don't think they did.
I'm not sure. Okay,
because
maybe
they
go
called
missing,
them kidnappings.
Okay, sure. But that's the show. Basically, is this 29-year-old guy get teleported back to when he's like 11 or something. So he has his 29-year-old mind in this kid's body, and he has to relive those days and try to figure out how to save these classmates. And it's a really heavy show, but it's also at the same time really heartwarming because one of the people the main girl that he's trying to save is this girl who lives in this like really fucked up house and like is the victim of abuse and stuff, and he just pours so much attention into her and trying to like get her to be friends with him and his crew in order to save her life. So like that's, to me, just to get on AJ a little bit more, to me, that was my happiness for 2020. It was a show that like I had to pay a lot of attention to, and there was a lot of bad things happening, but everything, spoiler alert, everything works out in the end in like the best possible way it could. And the main characters are just like a bunch of really good people that are like super wholesome and decided to like look evil in the face and defeat it, you know? So to me, like that's top 3 worthy because it's feel good, but it earned it. It's not like bubblegum feel good. It's I fed a starving child feel good.
Yeah. You grow as a person when you or you learn something about yourself because you're like, why am I crying right now?
Yeah, it just made me feel good. It's just like, man, after that show, it's just like, fuck, I want to be nice to a little kid that has a shit life.
I want to save someone's life.
Yeah.
I want to go back in time and make the world a better place. That'll never happen.
Yeah, so, and our friend Donnie got mad before because we never shouted him out for Redline, so I'm going to shout him out for Erased because I think he was the first of our group of friends that liked it, so he was the first guy that I thought of when I was like, oh, Erased is on Netflix. I should watch that since I got some time.
Donnie's,
it's really good. And
honestly, Donnie would be like a better like person to take like maybe my position on this podcast because he watches a lot of anime, knows a lot.
Donnie would be a better person than me, honestly.
Yeah, he would. He honestly, he should have his own podcast. Maybe we'll bring him on sometime if we can convince him. But
I know that's his problem. Is he knows a lot of shit, but he don't really want to do nothing with it.
Yeah. Maybe.
Sorry, Donnie. Love you.
He's listening. I love you, Donnie. Thanks for Redline. Thank you for Erased.
Yeah.
I don't love you, Donnie.
AJ,
Fuck
don't
off.
listen to AJ. He watches Dragon Ball in the background when it jerks off.
Me and Will, we do it together. You.
Ah.
I didn't mean to say that, but whatever.
Getting hot off of Bulma over there.
Now I'm looking forward to this little Dragon Ball talk we got coming in a couple weeks.
Boy.
I mean, maybe a couple weeks. We'll see. We have to plan it out still.
Well, a couple is not an exact number in my head. Like some people, some weirdos.
So 2020, what the hell? 2021.
Let's stop saying those numbers.
All right.
Man, it's just a bad time. Everything's going to be fine. Everyone's going to be happy-dory, and everyone will be back on their feet.
Satan is going to rise up from his black throne in the core of the earth, and he's going to save us all.
So besides Satan saving us all, what else are you looking forward to in the next calendar year in which I will not name?
I don't know. How philosophical do you want me to get?
I haven't looked that far ahead.
No,
yeah.
man. Anime related. We're going surfacey. Like what media? I don't give a shit about what your life plans are. I just want to know what shit you're trying to watch next year or play.
I don't know.
Or read.
A lot of stuff's been put on the back burner.
Yeah, I'm a bad person. What's happening next year? I don't know.
I mean, you're not bad for not knowing that. You both have children, so that's probably why you don't know.
Yeah, I have
Is
children. Give me a break.
Season 3? Mob Season 3 next year?
I don't know.
Ooh, I'm looking forward to seeing the goddamn Demon Slayer movie.
Mugen Train. We still don't have a date for that. They're pretty sure it's going to come next year, but they don't. They have not.
I thought they were talking like
when.
January, February. Better come out sometime in the next damn year.
Dude, you know the Rona ruined everything.
I don't care.
Lupin the Third,
I
the
want
first.
it.
We are talking Lupin the Third, the first. That'll be the first episode of 2021.
Okay.
So get ready for that.
It's happening.
I'm forcing that on you guys. I don't care if you don't want to watch it.
I
think you do.
I'll watch it.
Looks cool.
I'm going into that like whatever. Like yeah, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna let that wash over me.
The artwork, the CG is real CG, so I appreciate that.
It'll be fun. I'm looking forward. I'm actually excited about it. I'm not a huge Lupin fan, but I've seen a few movies and they're always fun. So I'm looking forward to this.
AJ loves fun. He just loves a romp.
I love fun. I like having a good time.
That's what we're learning.
Hey, if you're having a bad time, try having a good time. It'll make things a lot better.
Oh my God. All right, Patch Adams, going to like the pediatric oncology ward.
Hey, are you depressed? Try not being depressed. There you go.
Yeah.
Did you ever try just being happy? Makes being sad a lot better.
Have you tried not fucking worrying about it?
I lost my job, my kids are sick, and I don't have insurance.
Turn that frown upside down. Sing a cleanup song. You'll feel better.
My insurance isn't covering the medication.
Oh, God. Okay, too real. Should I thank everyone? I'm going to thank everyone. Thank you.
Hey, bitch, I didn't say what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, what's Marcus looking forward to
I'm
next year?
distracted and I'm tired. Say your shit so we can say hello and goodbye and thank you.
Well, Attack on Titan Season 4 started, so I'm looking forward to that show being done for realsies this year.
Can I watch that one the same way I watch Dragon Ball?
No.
Probably.
It's not predictable.
Alan says probably.
Well, I mean, Alan's wrong. It's not predictable. You don't know any of the characters. It's not based on let's have a fighting tournament and wait for Goku to get stronger. Like, no, you won't, especially since Attack on Titan's story really is convoluted and doesn't make that much sense.
That's why I think you don't have to watch it, but
I mean, but you won't know what's happening is the thing.
I'm going to try to watch it for the podcast. That way we can talk about how Alan doesn't like it.
I mean, the only reason I don't
season 4 for the pod, I'll do it.
The only reason I don't suggest that is like, why would you just watch the last season?
Because it's
like,
no,
you're not
I'm
gonna
gonna
be
watch the whole thing.
You're not gonna. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to talk about it though. You're just gonna be like, oh, I didn't get anything. He's like, yeah, fucker, because
I've already watched.
No, I'm gonna watch the whole season 1 and 2 and 3.
Yeah, I'm already a season. I'm at least one season deep, maybe 2.
I think I've started season 1 like 7 times, and I just always stop.
I mean, how about this? Neither one of you want to watch it that bad. I don't really care if you watch it, so how about we don't watch it for the podcast and watch something else?
Do it.
Maybe I'll read the manga.
I especially don't. You know what? No, I don't want to watch it for the podcast because I'll have to refresh myself on everything because the story's that weird and meanders a lot. So I don't want to do that. I just want to watch it. I want this one for me.
Fuck you guys trying to level with me and be a part of something.
We'll watch other stuff. We don't need to watch that. Anyways, yeah, I'm also looking forward to Mugen Train because I need it.
I need that movie.
Need more Demon Slayer.
I need more.
Especially since it did gangbusters in Japan.
Yeah.
Like amidst the pandemic, I think it did better than Spirited Away, which was like their top, or either their first or second biggest.
It outdid Titanic, which was like the biggest movie ever when it came out.
Right, during the pandemic. So I'm like, this shit has to be good. It has to be. Anyways, we need that Mugen Train movie. And I was going to say one more thing. I think Promised Neverland is still supposed to come out this year, second season. I hope so. Because I very much want the second season of that. What?
This year, like in the next 5 days or 10 days or whatever?
Next year.
You said this year.
I know I did. I'm sorry. I correct myself. But anyway, that's what I'm looking forward to.
I got to go back and finish that one.
It's good.
Because I liked it. I just didn't finish it. That's most things in my life. So,
it's
except
a
for
good
the podcast.
one.
This podcast has been going a year strong. Congratulations, guys. Big. Put your arm out in front of you. Bend it. Lift your shoulder and pat yourself.
Oh, I thought we were doing
I thought we were
going to do a high five.
No.
That was weird.
That would be stupid.
Yeah, we did it.
We're on the internet.
If you haven't done it, then you should try it. If I can do it, almost anyone can. Yeah, it's not that hard. I mean, it's kind of hard sometimes, but
It's a conversation, and you record it and put it on the internet.
Well, then you got to go and chop it up and then try to make music that goes with it. And then you got to fade everything in and then to try to adjust the frequencies to make it because your toilet ran.
Just record it. Put it on the internet.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Anyway.
Thank you,
any
dozens,
final words to
dozens of viewers.
Finish out this year of whatever.
Nothing. No more words.
Happy New Year, fuckers.
Yeah.
See you in the next decade.
Happy times coming soon.
You need to sign us off properly.
I will.
Yeah, tell us about it, AJ. Tell us why we're here.
Well, we're here because we're part of the Otaku team. Otaku.com. That's where I put the deals.
The deals.
Twitter. Twitter.com.
We got good deals.
The tweeted deals. That's where I tweet deals. Podcast is at BrokeOtakuCast. We are on iTunes. We're on Spotify, I think. We're on all the major podcast platforms, YouTube, all that stuff. So like it, subscribe it, put it in your Five-It and high-five it.
What?
And something like that. Anything else that I forgot? If you have suggestions
I don't know. I
or you just
stopped
want to
listening.
talk, yeah, just add us at Twitter. Or leave a YouTube comment. You can do that too.
Our handle is not at Twitter.
Add us at Twitter.
You can follow
me
at Twitter.
Say.
I am Twitter.
Send me a DM.
You can get a
Actually,
BJ.
can't because I don't
Send
follow
him a
you.
DM.
Because you're a loser. Just kidding. Thanks for listening.
This is degrading rapidly. We need to cut it off before
Yes, we do.
anybody says anything else, and we get Tom Brenneman up in here.
Big thanks to the listeners. That's you guys. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. All 20 of you.
All right, I already said thank you like 3 times.
Say it again. You can never say thank you too much.
Thanks, I
love
love
you. Put a smile on your face.
Have a good year. Have a
on.
good next year, please. For me.
Be kind.
Will be fine.
We rewind.
Be kind and rewind. The end.
Give your mom a hug.
Do that.
She misses you. Call her.
Oh, yeah.
Well.